Now, during the Toronto Film Festival, the city gets completely invaded by people from out of town. There's all the press and all the filmmakers. It's one of the few festivals where the public really does matter. It's pretty easy for them to buy tickets, and the one award given out is actually voted for by audience members. So with that in mind, we're going to go around town, meet a few local people and offer them bespoke recommendations. So say hello to Glenn Gould. He's looking pretty street smart today. He's just sitting here watching the world go by, shooting the breeze. For you, my friend, and a watch.
Everybody here is family.
You know I love you, man. I would lay down my life for you, dude.
Hey, partner, what's up?
I want to have a daughter, man. That'd be so cool. Just don't let her date cops. She's not dating anyone. Okay, ever.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Peyer are best LAPD buds who cruise downtown, whooping crims, chatting about their personal lives, and occasionally investigating what seems on the surface to be a pretty minor crime, but almost always unearths some gruesome discovery. It's Top Gun in cop cars, complete with a bull-busting colleague who will one day learn to grudgingly respect our heroes. There's found footage camera work and some nasty gangs who kill people and then tell them to rest in peace and cackle. But don't be fooled, this is an all-brown movie. It might look gritty, but give it a couple of minutes and it all turns to mush.
You should marry one of my cousins.
If you're anything like you, I wouldn't be able to stand an hour with them. Waking up in the morning, they'd be like,
Hey, can I tell you a story?
I know.
Here's a story about this, and a story about that, and a story about this, a story about that.
But dude, all you gotta do is
this,
this. All you gotta do is this. Yeah,
Okay, this one's more of a prescription than a recommendation, because if you're a bunny with all a bunny's urges and desires, then A Good Cold Shower might be Thank You for Sharing, which is a sex addiction comedy set in New York. It's basically shame with an exclamation mark.
So, I mean, it's pretty much self-sustaining, you know, the fish, they do their thing in the water, and that...
Yeah, and then the phytoplankton eat the fish's waste, and then they create oxygen, which the fish use, so it's like a closed loop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Adam's an environmental wizard.
Is that right? You know, I had a cellmate once thought he was a warlock.
Mark Ruffalo, Tim Robbins and Josh Gad are our three lads about town, trying to keep their hearts on their sleeves and their bits and bobs in their pants. They succeed and fail in perfect synchronicity. Director Stuart Blumberg is a dab hand with a character arc, as witnessed on his last screenplay, For the Kids Are All Right. Such neatness and symmetry feels a bit weird with a subject as messy as sex addiction, and the high opera of Steve McQueen's movie, Shame, does make this one feel all the more vanilla. But it's still a perky, witty watch, well seasoned rather than big on the sauce.
Fall into
You
the
are
wedding
the
cake.
best, man.
I will be
You
the
are
one that will not forever hold his peace.
Hey, you think I could be your best man when you two get married? Nothing? All right.
Now, he can't vote. Obviously, you'd never get him in the cinema. Trees, though, are perfectly eligible. And I know what you're thinking. There's a Terrence Malick film showing. They're all going to go for that. Hang on a second. There's also a film called The Place Beyond the Pines. You're going to love it. The deciding factor in whether Derek Cianfrance's film gets the foliage vote is whether or not the trees have caught his last film, Blue Valentine. Or, in fact, whether or not they've seen Drive, Ryan Gosling's most recent film in which he plays a getaway stuntman who really just wants to support a lovely lady and her baby. It's basically exactly the same plot as the first third of this film, maybe spliced with Killing Them Softly, a Brad Pitt thriller riffing on the contemporary American economy. Pines does cover some pretty familiar ground, but it does so with real speed and panache. Hey guys, you look pretty fun. Okay, I think you're totally going to dig Emile Hirsch's character in Twice Born. He plays this photographer and he falls in love with Penelope Cruz and things are really cool. Then the Bosnian War happens. Really? I'm stereotyping? Okay, you're a Schubert fan. Okay, how about Late Quartet, which is this film about a string quartet in New York?
I spoke with Dr. Nader. This difficulty I've been having, Parkinson's, she says, early stages maybe.
Christopher Walken, Catherine Keener, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Mark Ivanir are all on the fiddle in this earnest chamber piece about classical musicians battling disease, death, ambition and lust. Given the pitch of those notes, it's odd that a late quartet plays in quite such a niche key. While really well acted, the problems of these four may fall on a few deaf ears.
Playing for much longer is not in the cards for me.
What if the drugs work?
I need to be real about this. Deal with it. Name it. The doctor says it might give me a season, could be 2, but I've made up my mind that it's best for the quartet to plan ahead, think about what comes next.
What's that? Not so much. Yeah, you're probably right. They're not the best films here. Let's just go for a beer.